Hey Mo, how's it going? Good morning. How are you?
We don't need anything or anyone. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? I don't quite know how to say how I feel. Those three words I said too much. They're not enough. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me your garden that's bursting into life. Let's waste time chasing cars around our heads. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me?
Hello, thank you.
Just forget the world. Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. All that I ever was is here in your perfect eyes. They're all I can see. I don't know where, confused about how as well. Just know that these things will never change for us at all. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
Good morning, everybody. Let's give it a few more minutes just to let others join.
What the hell is on Joey's head? This is where I grew up. I think the president who fixed it up. I never knew he ever went without. The second floor is like the sneaking up. And this is where I went to school. Most of the time I better things to do. Criminal record says I'm broken twice. I must have done it half a dozen times. I wonder if it's too late. Should I go back and try to graduate? Life's better now than it was back then. If I was them, I wouldn't let me in. Oh God, every memory of looking out the Somebody went and burned it down. We used to listen to the radio.
Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started.
I graduated with a degree in accounting from Michigan State and a minor in economics. And I became the youngest CPA in Michigan. That lasted about 2 years. I was making all of $67.40 after taxes a week. And I noticed my clients were doing extremely well in home building, and I didn't think they were all that bright. So I said, you know what? I can do that. So I joined with a man by the name of Donald Kaufman and formed Kaufman and Bro Building Company. And what we did is we built homes without basements, which was unheard of in Detroit because all the homes up to then all had basements going back to days when you had to store coal, etc. in the basement. So we're able to offer a home with a carport or garage at a much lower price. And that was a great success. Then along the way, we acquired Sun Life Insurance Company of America, a company founded in 1890. This was the mid-70s, and changed out later into what was called Sun America, splitting Kaufman and Broad into a separate company from Sun America. And they were both Fortune 500 companies, and both have done extremely well. And that led fast forward to the fact that 11 years ago, we merged that company for $18 billion in AIG. I stayed on for several years and used our share of the proceeds to start the Broad Foundations, which allowed me to have my fourth career in philanthropy. If you want to be aggressive and start a business from scratch, it requires a commitment. And you have to work at least half days, and that means 12 hours a day and probably 6-7 days a week to get it really going. And if you do that, there's a limited amount of time you could spend on family and other things at the beginning. So one has to make choices. When you start a new business, having it succeed, and then having it expand, and then making a public company out of it. And then making a leader in the industry. Those are all challenges, and along the way, there's a lot to do in getting the right people together, which we've been fortunate to be able to do. And that allowed us to become a very successful company. In fact, the best performing company on the New York Stock Exchange for a 10-year period of time. Having fire in your belly and having determination to win is all important. This is not a casual endeavor if you want to start a business and succeed. You got to live it. You had some people that had been the business competitors and been around a long time. So you had to have a better product. You had to become a better merchant. You had to figure more efficient ways to produce the product and finance the product. And that meant doing things differently and being accepted in your 20s as someone that's serious. And that meant just harder work and convincing people that you were the real thing. You have to be well-read. You have to look for ideas. I read 4 papers every day, and every day I get some ideas out of it. Well, there are all sorts of ways of measuring success. You know, business and financial success is one measurement. But in recent years, dealing with a lot of people in science, I find that scientists maybe have the greatest amount of wealth. I don't mean financial wealth, but they feel great about what they're doing. They don't get burnt out as traders do on Wall Street by age 40 and so on. And they feel good about what they're doing and have a pretty good life. So I think people have to think about what wealth is today, and it's just not financial wealth. There are other ways of measuring wealth. My parents were Lithuanian immigrants, and they were very socially minded. And I guess that stuck with me. And I also always felt an obligation to give back, especially here in Los Angeles. I came here 40 some odd years ago. And I like to say, without the right family background, the right religion, the right politics, and I've been able to do all these things business-wise in the community. And I feel very good about the ability to do different things in the arts here and education reform and scientific and medical research and giving back. When we started 11 years ago, our Education Foundation activities, it was very clear to me that America was falling behind. So we got involved in saying, what can we do to improve public education in America? We still have the best system of higher education in the world, although others are catching up, in China and India especially. But my concern was that the American people, frankly, were, to be blunt, fat, dumb, and happy. They thought we were the greatest nation on earth and remembered how we came out of World War II as number one. And I saw what happened, for example, the American auto industry. Living in Michigan, they didn't pay much attention to foreign automakers. They thought we're the great American auto industry. And look what happened to that industry. And look what happened to the city of Detroit, Michigan. And I was fearful that that same attitude pervaded a lot of America, that we had to improve public education, or else we would not have the type of workforce that would be competitive in the 21st century. So some progress has been made in the last 10 years, but it's been tough because there are a lot of adult interests that want to maintain the status quo. Right now, I'm most proud of all the things we've done philanthropically. Obviously, I'm also proud of the 2 Fortune 500 companies I founded from scratch. But I feel very good about what we're doing in education reform in the last 10 years nationally. I feel exceptionally good about what we're doing in scientific and medical research with the Broad Institute partners with Harvard and MIT, which has become number one in the world with 1,500 people in just 6 years.
All right, good morning, everybody. That was Ellie Broad. If you guys are familiar with KB Homes, the new home builder, he was one of the founders of that company and went on to do a lot in real estate and a lot in the sciences and a lot for the community by building museums and building schools and doing a lot for Los Angeles. And he passed, I believe, this last weekend. So that was pretty sad news, but look at all the things that he did. I think Bruce would say, I hope you guys took copious notes because he talked about, you know, starting out from scratch, doing what others weren't doing, right? To like what he was talking about, you know, building homes without a basement when every other home was built with a basement. You know, he talked about giving back to the community, right? And being invested in other things. You know, it's funny, it just makes me think back to the convention a couple weeks ago where they were really talking about how you need to really go out in the community and make a presence. And, you know, it goes back to that old saying, give to get, right? Christy Rye knows that statement, you know, to the fullest. You know, she gives to you guys when you come to her without ever having given her a deal. She comes to you and she gives you, you know, I like to use the Craig Carter famous word, a plethora of ideas and free stuff that you could use in your business to generate business without expecting anything in return. Of course, she makes a living from you calling her and ordering a title order, but she gives without expecting to get, and therefore she gets. So I think it's a great lesson. If you see, you know, most of these billionaires, you know, Bill Gates is on the news right now, but, you know, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you know, at a certain point, they decided that they would spend the second half of their lives giving back. And Warren Buffett is another gentleman that joined that group. And I think Andrew Carnegie back in the day also said that he was going to spend the first half of his life accumulating wealth and spend the second half of it giving it back. So hopefully you guys got something out of that. I have a quote from him, Ellie Broad. He says, for business to be successful, they need to constantly ask the question, how can we provide value to our customers? At the end of the day, that's what matters. And that's the bottom line, guys. Are you providing value to your clients? Are you giving to get? Right? And today our topic is what's your worth? And I'm going to be talking about, are you really bringing, value to your customers? And if you are, then you should be pretty busy. And if you're not, that might be something that you might want to focus on, bringing value to people that you should not expect anything from. And hopefully, eventually, when the word gets out, it'll turn around for you and come to you. Anyways, wanted to bring a little, I remember Bruce always started his meetings with a couple of jokes, and I'm horrible at delivering jokes. So I thought I'd just share with you a couple of funny things that I saw over the weekend. So this is an MLS listing. It says, driving directions, and they actually said, Google it. Google it. So, and I noticed here they're only offering 1% commission. So I probably wouldn't even show that place or Google it. But anyways, all right, here's another one. In the private remarks, they said, do not include a stupid letter with stupid family photos of your buyers, showing off how cute they look. The seller has no problem selling this house to ugly people. If you must include a buyer photo, then for the love, take a cute picture of their bank account balance and credit score. Agent has financial interest in this property. I thought that was pretty funny because I'm the guy this guy's talking about, where I include a picture of my clients and I do a huge write-up about them, and I do a really huge focus write-up on the house itself, explaining why my clients really love the house and what special little points in that house they really loved. And last but not least, I talk about, me and my lender and my TC and the kind of work that we do and our experience, and promising that we're going to over deliver. And then we throw in a picture of the family, but obviously this guy did not want that. And last but not least, this was for Elise. He says, we had an approved tenant, but she decided to go back to her husband and try to make the marriage work. So, hey, sometimes you might have that buyer that's ready to go and they're approved, and then they want to go back to their ex and try to work it out. So I just thought these are funny things that people pointed out that were in the MLS. I thought it'd bring a little joy and maybe with a smile on your face for the day. So if you'd like a copy of these, I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook, but I post things up like this all the time because my clients get a kick out of it. A recent one that I posted, it was a meme. It was a young couple, and they were like on House Hunters, one of those like TV shows or whatever for house hunting. And it says husband, future Doge or Doge or whatever investor. That's the hype right now. It's like the new Bitcoin or whatever. And then the wife, it says OnlyFans income or something. So she's making money off of being on OnlyFans. Anyways, it's just funny, but my clients get a kick out of it. All right, let's make a deal. Anybody got a new listing, new buyer that you're looking for? I've got some too that I want to share with you guys, but if you've got somebody, now's your time to speak. Anybody out there? Please don't be shy. All right, well then I guess I will go to the MLS. So I guys, it's not a bragging thing. I was telling John Greer yesterday, for the last maybe 2 weeks, I've been getting into the office around like 6:30 every day. And then last night I was here till 7. And I'll tell you that there was a quote that I read a couple of years ago that says, when you're doing good things, when you're trying to get better, you're trying to overcome obstacles, you're trying to, change, good things will happen for you. And, I'm not saying that to brag or say to you, wow, check me out, I'm doing all this or whatever. But you guys come to me and you go, Benny, how did you get that listing? How are you getting your business? I've noticed you've been generating some business. How do you do it? I'll tell you, there's no secret. My buddy posted a meme the other day where, and he says, he goes, every agent wants to know when somebody's doing good, what are they doing? And John Greer will tell you what he's doing. It's getting to work. He's there every day consistently, and you know, rise early and go home late. So, all right, we got a new listing here, Lee Bacher in Norwalk. I believe that's Angie Sandoval's. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. I think I shared it with you guys a couple days ago. They're going to start showing it on May 9th, which I believe is 5, 6, probably like a Sunday. So anyways, keep that in mind. 3-bedroom, 1 bath, Norwalk at 640. And there's only one picture. Elmfield, this is Morales team, Eduardo Morales, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, and I've shared this one with you guys too. Still available. Linton Avenue in Wilmington. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is Eduardo Morales as well. Let me show you some pictures of this. Actually, there's a virtual tour. Let's do that. Oh, what's the matter part? And I don't know if it's gonna do it. It's probably not. But okay. Well, I'll go through it a little bit here. Hopefully, I don't get any of you guys dizzy. But to me, it looked like it was a flip house. I'd probably be better off doing the pictures. But look at that. Nice open concept kitchen. So it shows pretty good. I'm actually surprised that he still has it on the market with 7 days on there, but it should probably be going under contract if it's not already. But in case you have a buyer, 629 Wilmington, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,324 square feet. This I just put today. This is my, I told you guys it was Palmdale. It's actually Lancaster. Let me show you the video real quick. 539 Serenity. This actually ended up being very good. All right. So that's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. Wow, see, I already noticed a mistake. I actually put 4 there. Asking $499 just hit the market today. And guys, as I said to you before, try to use this strategy. If you see agents due to COVID, sellers ask that all showings occur Saturday, 5-8, 12 to 4. Please go direct anytime between 12 to 4. Please do not use showing time or request an appointment. Showings will be on a first come, first served basis. Please go direct. Bring your P with you to the showing. Thank you. So, man, I think I'm going to move to Lancaster. Look at how much home you get. So, all right, in case you've got a buyer for that, let me know. Christina Fernow's Cornuda is still available. We've talked about that one. And what else do we have? Okay, that was it, guys. So anybody else have any buyers? Real quick before we go on to the next thing. No. I'll tell you one more thing. Those Lancaster people, they're looking for a home, La Mirada surrounding up to 750,000. I actually showed them some homes on Sunday. But if you've got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath minimum in La Mirada or surrounding cities, up to 750, please let me know. And I think we could probably budge up to 8. So just keep that one in mind. You guys all have a buyer now. So, all right. Congratulations, everybody. We've got, give me 1 second, guys. We've got 10 pending escrows currently. So congratulations to Mo Abraham, Eduardo Morales, Christina Fernot, Carrie and Don, Angie Sandoval, Renee Nava, and Robert Anyam. Congratulations to you all with 10 pending escrows. Kind of a little bit of a slow, in my opinion. We were averaging about 19 escrows last few months here and there. So, pretty good. All right, moving on to the pendings. Oh, sorry, the closed. 18 closed sides last month, so that was pretty good. April. So congrats to Eduardo Morales, Miguel Guzman, Angie Sandoval, Feng and Nancy, Cecilia Guthrie, Christine Bandy, Rosie Melgoza, Christina Fernot, Tamara Michike, Carrie and Don, and Angie Sandoval. I probably mentioned her already. All right. John Greer, you got anything to say?
Let me unmute. Yeah, Benny, I was going to kind of wait for your main presentation to chirp in a little bit there, but
okay.
The Broad,
yes.
the Broad and Broad, that was pretty interesting. What I got out from that was that what he was doing something that his competitors weren't, or he was off more than what his competitors were. So you guys should think about that, what you can do to help them and offer more than what your competitors are doing. So I'll leave it there, and then when you get your main thing going, I'll chirp in a little bit, Benny.
You got it. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, John. Sorry, I'm going backwards here. Mr. Money, Joe Coy. Is he there?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing? All right, so I got some updates for you guys. First thing I'll start off with is the rates on FHA and VA. You're looking pretty much unchanged from last week. You're looking about 2.75, assuming excellent credit. For a conforming conventional loan amount, you're looking about 2.875. And on a high balance conventional, you're looking about 3.0. Some good news was announced late last week from the Federal Housing Finance Agency. They pretty much oversee Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And they announced plans to ease some credit requirements, simplifying documents that are needed, and waiving certain fees for borrowers who are looking to refinance and have income below 80% of the area median income. So I think this should be pretty helpful for those well-deserving buyers. Great for the real estate market, keeping it strong. It hasn't gone into effect yet. They're still working out details, so there's not a lot of details on it yet. But it should be coming out, they said, at the early part of summer. So I'm thinking maybe July. We should be hearing some more information regarding that program. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that my marketing assistant, Leah, she's no longer with the company. So I do have somebody else that's taking over the marketing for myself, as well as for my realtor partners. We're actually partnering up with what we call the Hub at New American Funding. They combined a bunch of our Orange County offices under one roof, and they have a marketing department there that consists of about 5 people Everybody kind of specializes in something else, you know, whether it might be video, whether it's social media, whether it's custom artwork, but they have some really talented people over there in that department, and they'll be able to assist myself as well as you guys on any of your marketing needs. So if there's any flyer requests or anything that you would typically have emailed Aaliyah about, please email me directly. I'll put you in touch with our hub marketing team, kind of make that introduction. You're more than welcome to reach out to them directly anytime you'd like. Just make sure that you have me CC'd on the email, because they'll usually need my approval for different things. But I think overall it should be pretty beneficial in regards to marketing. They're doing some pretty impressive things over there. I'm going to speak to Benny and John and see if I can put on a presentation and show you a little bit more about what they have to offer. But just to kind of go over some of the highlights, you know, they have social media posts, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. They take care of all the artwork for you. They can do the custom artwork as well. Print media, you know, flyers, postcards, door hangers. We do all that in-house. Post-closing marketing, you know, like for any closed transactions, they can highlight your reviews, or, you know, if you have pictures of you with the family, they can kind of create some custom artwork and help you with your social media. Event coordination, if you're doing like any first-time homebuyer presentations, anything like that, they can help us promote those. They can help us come up with the artwork, pass outs, folders, all sorts of custom materials, open house, listing materials, farming, all sorts of things. But I'll get with John and Benny, see if we can set up a time maybe in the next few weeks, have them maybe talk for 10, 15 minutes kind of about what they can help assist you guys with. Again, it's pretty impressive. I think you guys will like that. And that's all that I got for you at the moment.
Cool, Joe. Thank you very much. And yes, we look forward to doing that and putting that together. As always, you bring a lot of value to us, and we appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much. All right, the right team, Keegan or Christy, you guys on the call.
Good morning. How's it
Good
going,
morning.
guys?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. So I want to tell you something that I'm working on, Benny. Everybody, good morning. So I've got a transaction right now that we pretty much were saying this is going to have to go to court. What happened was the owner of the property had the property in a trust, and she's passed away. We have the son coming forward stating that he's the successor trustee. So I have asked the office, the TC and the agent for a copy of the trust. This has been going back and forth for about 2 weeks. They can't find the trust. At first, they were thinking he just didn't want to locate it. He didn't want to have to go through the work of finding the trust. And I said, well, the second they hear the word court, oftentimes the trust shows up, you know, because I know it's a pain going through all the boxes and everything. But without having the trust, we have no idea if he is really the successor trustee. Not only that, we have no way of knowing who the beneficiaries are. So it just leaves too much room. There's too much risk, right? So slowly but surely, they started snail mail stuff to me. I got like a power of attorney that was created at the same time of the trust, which named her son as the attorney in fact. So that was promising. There was also a handwritten will, which is called a holographic will, that she had written out in 2001. And it went very into detail as to what she wanted to have for the end of her life, where she wanted to be buried, everything to a T, all handwritten. And again, named that she had 2 kids. So I got a hold of my legal department yesterday because my listing agent just sounds so lost. Like, the wind was just pulled, you know, out of his sails. So I said to him, I go, let me talk to my underwriting. Let me see what we can do. So I compiled the story, typed out a long email telling them the facts. And I said, if we get a statement signed by the kids, which then we're protected because they can't say that they didn't know who, that the person was signing, and that we would be able to move forward, because really what we want to do is alleviate the risk, right? So I have that now in underwriting, and I'm very hopeful that we're going to be able to get this through, and these 2 are going to be able to sell their mom's property. And even in the will, they're the only heirs. So you have to assume they're also going to be the only beneficiaries of the trust. So we get sworn statements from everybody, Benny, and we can move forward. So Orange Coast Title is known for closing not just tough deals, but also being creative and really caring. You have to care enough to get it closed. You know, so because if you don't give a hoot, then your deal's going to blow up. If the title company it's just not worth their time, it's not cost effective. The hours that you put into closing a deal, it's just to them, a lot of the bigger title companies, it's not cost effective for them. So it really does matter who you work with and why you work with them, because you don't want to put your deals in just anybody's hands. So, oh, and one more thing. May the 4th be with you.
All right. Thank you, Christy Rye.
Welcome.
Back at you.
Thank
All right.
you.
We don't have Property AD or Stephanie, so let's get right to it. What's your worth? Guys, I decided that I wanted to share this with you because listings are a little bit scarce right now, right? And, you know, a lot of times we say, you know, it's whether you think you're right or you think you're wrong, you're right, right? With that said, you know, the reality is that listings are a little bit harder to come by currently. So when they do come by, I'm thinking you really need to have your A game and bring your A game to be able to negotiate give me 1 second. I gotta allow somebody in here. To negotiate, you know, a higher commission, especially in this market. And, you know, you got to remember, I was sharing this with John Greer the other day. You know, I have a client whose listing I have on the market right now, and he says, "Hey, can you look into this property in Seal Beach?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Let me get right back to you. When do you want to see it?" And he says, "Oh, we don't need to see it. We already saw it. We went on Redfin's website, clicked the button, and Redfin gave us a code. We used that code at the door, and we were able to see the home by ourselves." And that's a little bit scary because, I mean, I need to go back to the realtor ethics book, but I'm pretty sure that that is an unethical practice of you not being present for a showing or an agent not being present for a showing. I know if you've ever noticed before, some listings will say, if I have to show your clients the home, you're going to get a reduced commission. So I'm pretty sure that I'm right. But anyways, I need to try it on my own and do what they did to get that and see if I get the same kind of access, because it was pretty strange. You know, and he even said to me, he goes, "You know, Redfin, the company that's trying to cut you guys out." Those were his exact words. So, so anyways, right now you need to really bring your A game, not only because of that, but because listings are scarce. And anyways, you're like a pro football player. You're like a pro basketball player. You're like a pro CPA, a pro attorney, a pro architect. You're a professional. You should know everything there is to know about your industry and bring your A game. You should be the Kobe Bryant of real estate, you know? So anyways, just want to say that. So number one is, do you value your business? Do you truly, really value your business? If people see you and talk about you out there in public, do they say, "Wow, that Tamara Michike, man, you could tell she loves what she does"? Do they say, "Oh, Nancy Huang, wow, amazing. You know that she practices her scripts every day and she's, you know, every day learning stuff"? "Oh, that Christy Rye, man, she loves title because every time she opens her mouth, it's title this, title that," right? So do you value your business? That's the first question that you need to ask yourself, because if you don't value it, you got to start valuing it, because if you don't value your business, how are you going to bring value to strangers or people that are referred to you, you know, in business? You can't bring value unless you value your own business. Number two, do you know what your hourly rate is? I bet you Christy Rye knows her hourly rate. I don't know my exact hourly rate, but I joke with a lot of people, and I bet you I'm pretty close to it. I'm worth $500 an hour. I know that you guys are like, "BS, John doesn't pay you that for being there." But no, with my real estate combined and the few hours it takes me to do a transaction, when I'm on the clock, right? When I'm on the clock working a transaction, I'm $500 an hour. I guarantee you that. And you know what that does for me? It gives me confidence. When I'm out on an appointment, I speak a certain way, I answer questions a certain way. I treat myself like a $500 an hour agent. So I practice, I read scripts, I try to find out new things. I call Christy Rye. "Christy Rye, give me a brief, you know, 30-second spiel on Prop 19. Talk to me about capital gains taxes." You know, I'm picking Joe's brain. "Joe, what's the new programs? What's the rate this week?" I need to know all these things. I'm a $500 an hour person. I need to bring $500 an hour value. So what is your hourly rate? You know, go back and think to yourself, the last deal you worked, think about how many hours you worked and how much commission you made, right? And then come up with a number. And then ask yourself, am I really worth $500 an hour? You know, am I bringing enough to the table where I could garner charging these rates, right? And trust me, your mindset's going to start changing. Number 3, would you pay yourself these rates if you hired yourself? And let's go a little bit further. Would you hire yourself? Christy Wright, would you hire yourself as a title rep?
Absolutely, hands down.
There you go. You know, I would hire myself as a real estate agent. I think I am amazing. My client, Mark, which is one of my close friends, he goes, I don't know what it is about you, but when you're at your open houses, you become a different person. I don't know what it is, but it's like boom, like the switch. And you talk, you stand a certain way, you greet everybody a certain way. They throw questions at you. You know everything about the house. What you don't know, you like. He goes, it's crazy. It's like you're like this is what he said. He says you're like a hockey goalie. People are there pucking away at you, and you're just like boom, 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 right? So would you pay yourself these rates if you hired yourself? Are you worthy of that money? You know, would you not pay yourself that? Ask yourself that question. The next question is, what is the average total time you spend on a transaction? I want you to really think about this. Many years ago, I don't know if it was Mike Ferry or one of the top coaches said, let's really get down to the bottom of it. How many hours are you really, really genuinely prospecting? And how many hours are you honestly, truly, really working? And so he handed everybody those stopwatch timers that they use on track. And whenever, you would work on a deal, you'd click on it. And then when you stop working on a deal, you'd unclick on it. And then you'd add up all those hours and you go, oh my gosh, I worked a total of 17 hours and got paid 15 grand. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, right? And I guarantee you, that's probably the case with most of us here. We're making multiple hundreds per hour on a transaction in those hours, So you're making a lot of money, really big money. You need to know the time that you spend on these deals to be able to figure out what your hourly rate is. And that's going to boost your morale up. It's going to give you confidence, and it's going to make you change the way you look at things. Eventually it'll have you thinking, man, I don't want to sleep because I want to be making millions of dollars. Number 5, what is the average commission you negotiate on your listings? Okay. I will tell you guys, my motto for I don't know how many years is you do not walk out of a listing appointment without the contract. I don't care if you charge the guy 1%. I mean, that's not what I'm telling you here, but I'm saying if it comes down to it, if it comes down to somebody else taking that listing and you weren't able to negotiate your commission and they beat you because they practice their scripts, because I'm telling you, the sellers know. The sellers, they go to commission school. When they go, how much are you going to charge me? They always have the same 2 questions. How much are you going to sell my home for? And what are you going to charge me? And you go, well, it's 6%. And they go, well, can you do it for 5? Because they've already been trained. They actually go and they read their scripts. The sellers, I mean, they're on it. They go to Mike Ferry seller school every day. So when you come at them and you go 6, they go 5. So are you, what is the average commission that you're negotiating on your listings? Now that you've answered that question to yourself, what are you going to do to improve that? If you're taking nothing but 4% listings across the board throughout the year, there's a problem, right? If you're taking 6% listings across the board throughout the year, hey, pat yourself on the back. You're doing great. If you're in the middle at 5, you know what? I can't blame you too much. Now, here's the thing. You got to keep in mind. Redfin is charging 1% on the listing side. And I believe if you want like a full service, like where they do the drone and the staging and photography and all that, they charge you another point. Something like that. Go on their website, look at it. These people are your competition. They're one of your competitors. Your coworkers are your competitors. The Century 21 is your competitor, Coldwell Banker. So here's the thing. When you think to yourself, oh, you know what? I'm just going to take pictures with my cell phone. You need to remember that somebody else is doing way more for way less. So you need to, start spending the money on these videos. Start spending the money on putting quality photography out there. Start spending the money on advertising on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, right? So number 6, are you able to negotiate a higher commission, or are you a pushover? Let's be honest. I mean, I know that sounds pretty rough and sad or whatever, but are you a pushover, right? Are you able to negotiate a higher commission, or are you a pushover? Do I do 4% listings? I don't know if you guys could see this, maybe not. My friend Mark, he listed recently. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but he did a 4%, right? But here's the thing: we did a 4%. I'm selling his house. It's an escrow at 720. I'm selling his rental at five. What do you say? I think we said 599. We're going to put it on the market next month. I'm selling his son's condo or his daughter's condo for 550 in Costa Mesa, Santa Ana. And then they're buying a 1.4 to 1.6 house in Seal Beach, all in the second quarter. So is it worth taking a 4% commission on that? You know, when you add it all up, I'm probably going to make about 60 grand off of that one time that I sat at the bar and was in a nice suit and a nice tie. And he looked over to my friend Juan and he goes, "Hey, what do you guys do for a living?" And my friend goes, "Who are you, the FBI?" I mean, it was worth it. It's completely worth it. It was a connection. And now it leads to 4 transactions. And I'm telling you, it's probably about 60 grand. Now, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just telling you that it's okay to take a 4% listing. You know, don't feel bad. You know, hey, you're not going to win. Not every athlete out there doesn't always win their game, you know, but they practice every day consistently, religiously, so that they do win the game, right? You want to have more wins than losses, but 4% is not a loss. Now, here's the thing. Here's the other one. I don't know if you guys can see that. I just listed this. That's the house I showed you in Lancaster. That's $499, but I took a 5% listing. And if you look at the bottom, I'm paying 2%. So I'm making 3% on 500, which is going to sell for more than that. But there it is. And here's the thing. When I presented this to them, I always hand the net sheet. I go, after all the costs and fees of the sale are taken care of, this is what you'll net, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. How does that sound to you? And I shut up. And if they don't say, well, how much commission are you going to charge? I go straight to the listing. And of course, I explain, I go, this is at a 5% listing. We're cooperating with the buyer's agent. We're paying them 2%, and so on and so on. And I truck right through. Now, let me move on to the next one. Do you bring so much value that your fee is a good investment, right? So, you know, my conversation with everybody now is, you know, the last 8 listings that I've sold, the lowest price one sold for 20,000 above ask, and my highest one sold for 71,000 above ask. That's what I bring to the table. The other thing, we made no repairs. That's what I bring to the table. The other thing, I only had you leave your house for 1 day for 4 hours to get all the showings and all the offers in. You know, so I just have all these bullet points in my head that I share with people, and then they're thinking, yeah. And check this out, guys. I had never said this before, but when I signed that listing in Lancaster, I said, my goal is to net you so much more money that I end up becoming free to you. My fee to you is free. So I'm going to list your house at $499, but I hope that by the time I'm done with you, I end up costing you nothing. How does that sound? Would you go for that? I would go for that. But what do you mean? You pay for yourself? Really? Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember this many, many years ago at one of our quarterly awards. Bruce brought this lady to speak to us, and they said, how much do you charge? And she goes, I'm free until it gets sold. Until it's sold. I'm free until it's sold. I do all this stuff for you for free until you sell it. So I give you all my consultation. I pay for your video. I pay for your photography, pay for all your advertising. I show the property. I protect you at the home inspection. I protect you at the appraisal. I protect you on the disclosures. I protect you on all the legal forms and everything else. And I'm free throughout that whole time until the buyer finally wires their last piece of money and escrow funds. How's that sound? So let me see. Number 8, do you know all of the commission objection handlers verbatim? If you don't like your scripts, if you're not going to learn your scripts, fine. Learn your commission objections. Learn that. If you're not going to learn anything else, learn your commission objection handlers verbatim, you know? And again, like I'm saying, guys, you're going to have people that tell you, oh, 6, can you do 5? Well, can you meet me halfway? How about 5.5? You know, how's that sound? I'll pay myself 3 and pay 2.5 to the other guy. You know, hey, will you do it for 4%? Well, I told you 5. Your house is 600,000. 1% is 6,000. I told you we would list at 499. Sorry, at 599. Why don't we do 609,999? If I get you 609,999 or more, you pay me 5%. If I don't get you 609,999, if I get you less than that, I'll do it for 4. How's that sound? And then your guys' question is, Benny, where do I write that? Well, you would write that here, where it says listing terms, right? That third line B on item 2. So, guys, you have to be able to have things like that. To have it out, you need to negotiate. You guys know that Mike Ferry's famous one was, will you do it for less? No. Any other questions? Now that's a little bit harsh and a little bit brash, and a little bit too cocky and confident for me. But I would, at that question, I would say, everything's negotiable. What are you thinking? Right? Well, you said 6, Benny. We'd like to do it at 5. Great. You know what? I wouldn't be me if I didn't enjoy a little bit of a haggle. Ha ha ha. Right? And you say, why don't you meet me halfway, Christy, right? Why don't we do 5.5? How's that sound? Put your hand out. I always do that. When I agree on price and commission, I always go for a handshake. It's just the old school salesperson in me, right? And just do that, but always negotiate. There's the other commission objection handler that John Greer knows, is the one where he says, oh, so-and-so will do it for 4%. You know why that concerns me, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? Why? If that agent isn't strong enough to protect his own self-worth, what makes you think he's going to protect the value of your home when he's out there negotiating with other buyers, right? Now, that, again, is a little bit harsher, but it's still an objection handler. How do I know these things? Because I'm a professional salesperson. Why do I know these objection handlers? Because, again, professional, this is what I love. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. I was not going to be a basketball player. I was not going to be a football player, not a soccer player. I was meant to be a real estate agent. I love what I do. I know what to say. I practice. I learn. And anything that I tell you guys, I implement myself. I've shown you guys time and time again. Number 9, on average, do you net your clients more money than they expected? Do you? Or are you the guy that has to come back and go, or girl, guy or girl, that comes back and says, it's not moving. We're going to have to take a price reduction. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to need another price reduction. Oh, the market's changing. We need another price reduction, right? That doesn't make you bad. It just means you need to improve on your pricing. Maybe you need to improve on your marketing strategy. Maybe accessing the property, you have to be James Bond, right? Your showing instructions are too tough. People have to jump through a window and run through a ring of fire to get into your listing. I mean, that's going to be tough. John Greer, give us something on commission, man. I know you've got it in your toolbox.
I wanted to say a couple things. That one, there's some people out there that no matter what you say, it's all about getting a certain commission.
Yes.
Everything else, and you got to realize that. And if that's what you're up against, you try a few things to get yourself up. Take the damn listing, man.
Yep.
Right now, it's going to sell, and get a commission out of it and move forward to the next one. So that's one. 2, there's some out there, the clients, I'm talking about sellers, that in the background, before you got over there, they were talking to their cousin Billy, and Billy said, my real estate agent wanted 6%, and I got him down to 5%. So you should ask your agent that. And they're like, okay. So that's all it was to trigger them. You go through your whole presentation. And by the way, if you're not using net sheets, or you don't know how to fill them out and present that to your client while you're in your listing presentation, you need to revise what you're doing. That is the number that they're going to set, and what they are going to expect to get. And if you don't show them that number, how in the world? Sometimes, like Benny was saying earlier, you show them and you're going to net $250,000 after all expenses are up. What? I am? You're including your commission, everything. Your net is $250,000. Oh, now you got something to work with there. But what I was going to say is there sometimes all it was their cousin Billy, and will you do it for 5%? You can do the Mike Ferry, no. and depending on the client, that can work because they just thought they would ask and see. But for some other clients, I had one that it kind of goes towards their sense of fairness and a kind of what you call human nature, that they wanna work with you. They want to get their home sold. They've already made up in their mind that you're their agent, and all they were doing is asking. But I'll tell them, let me ask you, when you go to work and you completely do everything that you're supposed to do for your job, and then they come back and ask you to take less than what you're normally going to take, how do you feel? Well, they don't feel very good, right? And you go, you know what? I'm willing to work with you on this. If I can net you that 250, with you already told me you'd be happy with that. Yes. Well, then why don't you pay me for doing my job? Let's work together on this. However, I'm happy to start negotiating with my commission if it's any less than that. And I can involve the other agent to work with me, to work with you, and put the deal together. If you make me come down now, I don't have any room to be able to put anything out there. What do you say about that?
Could you work? Articles I found helpful, as well as a quick guide about non-contingent offers. With how competitive everything is right now, we're seeing a lot more non-contingent offers come through, and there's risks for buyer and potentially for seller, because just because an offer is non-contingent doesn't mean the deal's necessarily going to go through, and it doesn't.
Hello. Sorry about that, guys. We had somebody was leaking sound onto our. All right, John, you're back. There you go, John.
Yeah. So it's just compelling them. It's putting them in a position that they can see what they're asking you to do. And a lot of times people want to be fair about it and say, if I can get you that 250 from the net sheet that you prepared for them, then I've done my job, and wouldn't it be fair to pay me what I'm doing, or possibly more, 250 or more as a net to you? And it pulls them away from the price of the house. It pulls back to a number that they're going to put in their pocket, which is what they're looking for in the first place, to be able to know what they're going to do. Typically people are doing something when they sell their house, unless they passed away. So get that number out to them, and just lean on their sense of fair play, and that's one great way to do it. The other one is, hey, well, that agent that's going to do it for 4%, they've told me, I'm on my presentation, I've told them 6, and they said, well, Joe down the street said 4. And the one is, well, if they can't even negotiate their own commission, how are they going to do to negotiate the price of your home? But 2 is, I'm just curious as to what are they going to cut out in the services that they're going to provide for you with that reduced amount like that. Yep. You ever thought about that? And so those are a couple things I can throw out there. Turn it back to you, Benny.
Yeah. No, those are great, John. I love them. To piggyback on what John was saying, you guys, my net sheet, I first I do the comps, then I bring out that net sheet, and I go, at 500, this is what you would net. And this happened to me with this Lancaster listing. They go 148. I go, yeah. And they go, oh, okay, but the closing cost is 32,000. So we'd pay 32,000 out of that 148, right? No, you're gonna take home 148. Oh, and that's when I knew right then, right? Because they were actually already thinking, wow, so from 148, we still got to pay 32. I had them. I was like, that's it. They're paying the commission. They're not going to object on it, because look at this. They're getting more. And remember what I did. I closed with them. I said, hey, 500 is the starting point. My goal is to get you so much money that I end up costing you nothing, that I end up being free, right? And they love that. They're like, yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, Benny, let's do that. Yes, let's sign, right? The other thing I was going to say that John touched on is, my client, Danny Sanders, sold his home in Lakewood probably about a month and a half ago. I interviewed with him, went down there, got along well, met his wife, met their grandchildren, showed me around the place, really hit it off, just like off the bat, and he's telling me, you know, there's realtors that live in the neighborhood, and you know, they come around, they want the listing. And I had another agent interview, and you know, and then there's a neighbor that said that you know, they won't even hire a realtor, that we could just go straight to escrow and this and that. And right there I said, Danny, that's great, man. You know, I can respect that. I go, but you know, usually it's been my experience, when a neighbor says they want to buy your house, it's like a throwaway. It's almost like a pride thing. Like, I'm going to buy your house. And then they never do. And especially once they hear what you're thinking as far as price goes, that they automatically turn their back on you and go, he's crazy, right? Because they wanted to get a deal. You know, this happened with Mark, my listing in Downey. You know, he helps me with crowd control, right? And he helped me with crowd control on his own listing, on his own home. And one of the neighbors goes, oh, you know, and they're talking to me in Spanish, you know, we bought his car off him like 10 years ago. Oh, great. That's, yeah. Well, tell him we're going to make an offer. I go, hey, Mark, they're going to make an offer. And then the son comes around and goes, hey, Mark, yeah. Hey, my dad wants to speak to you in private without any agents around. When can we talk to you? And I trained Mark before that. I said, Mark, anybody hits you up that way, you redirect them. You go, you know what? Benny's in charge. You talk to him, and whatever Benny says, you know, that's good. And so, you know, so I shared that story with Danny and go, you know, or a similar story like that, saying, you know what, people will, you know, yeah, they want to deal with you and no realtors because they think they're going to get a better deal. They're going to try to get you down 100K, right? So anyways, I walked away from that. Danny goes, yeah, I'll call you when I'm ready. Need to clear some stuff up. Not ready to sign. Need to, you know, just take care of some loose ends, and we'll get back with you. And so I sent him a text message one day. Hey, Danny, just following up with you, man. I'd really love to have the opportunity to list your home. If there's anything I can help with or any questions I can answer, please don't hesitate, right? And I did that about twice, never heard back from him, not even an acknowledgement to the text. And one Sunday morning, I mean, he caught me off guard. Hey, Benny. Hey, man, I'm ready to go. He goes, but here's the thing, man. Can you do it for 4%? And I said, Danny, can you meet me halfway, man? Can we go at 5? And he goes, no, man, I got to do it at 4. It has to be 4, man. For it to work for me to go forward, it's got to be 4. I go, wow. I go, yeah, that's going to be pretty tough. Can you do 4.5, Danny? And he goes, no, man, I got to do 4. It's got to be 4. And he goes, I completely understand if you can't. I really don't want to make any more phone calls today. I wanted to just call you and get it over with. But if you say no, I'm going to have to call around, right? So obviously he's selling me, right? He was selling me on that, taking that lower commission. But I thought about it. I said, you know what, Danny, let's get to work, man. You know what? You never know. And that's the thing, guys, is you're out there. Other things are going to come. What happened at Mark's listing? I got 2 listing appointments and a buyer, right? And I almost got close to double ending it. Got really, really close to double ending it, right? So that's the thing. You know, buyers, I love my buyers. You can't ask anybody. I told Mike Ferry in a room of crowded people, I was about 5 feet away from Mike Ferry, and Mike Ferry goes, anybody in here know any successful buyers agents? Because I don't. If you want to last in this market, you got to list to last, right? And when he's saying that, I'm nodding. Yeah, I know a successful buyer's agent. I really do. I really know a guy that makes 20 to 50 grand a month representing nothing but buyers. And Mike looked at me and he, no, it's list to last. And I'm telling you, I love my buyers. Everybody's ever asked me, what are you more, a listing agent or a buyer's agent? I'm a buyer's agent. I love my buyers. They give you hugs when you get them the deal. My sellers, they only care about 2 things most often. That's how much can you sell the home for and how much commission is it going to cost. But with that said, is in this market right now, the listings are gold. And you know, John will probably tell you, in almost every market, the listings are gold. And you know, you need to be prepared that when that opportunity comes for you to take a listing, that you know what to say and do so that you can maximize the potential of that listing, right? And what you're going to earn on a commission. And then the greatest thing, let's say you don't, and you end up taking a 4% listing, the opportunities that lie ahead from other neighbors that are thinking of selling, other buyers that are coming to that listing, the opportunity of double ending it, and so much more. So don't be afraid to do a 4% listing. but don't just stick to that. You know, start at your 6 and learn how to negotiate, learn how to objection handle, and try to not be just a 4% agent. But worst case scenario, if you have to, if you absolutely can't, like I did with Danny, said, Danny, you know what? Let's get to work, man. Let's do it, you know? And you don't know, down the line, Danny might call me and say, hey, Benny, you know, you did really good for me last time. You got 20 grand over ask for me. You did it at a good commission. Hey, man, here's another one, right? Or, hey, man, I got a friend that wants to meet you. They're thinking of selling or thinking of buying. So don't, like John said, do not leave a listing appointment without the listing. All right, guys. Last but not least, will you improve the value that you bring to the table to earn more? You got to ask yourself that question. Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to practice? Are you willing to do whatever it takes to bring the most value to the table to earn more? All right. I hope you guys have a great week. Let's go out there and kill it. Opportunities are out there, guys. The market is crazy. I was out showing homes, like I said, on Sunday, and it was just nonstop. You know, I had to stand there and wait for my turn. And then when I walked away, there was people lining up to show it as well. So the market's hot. Take advantage of it because you just don't know. You know, I don't want to say what the complete opposite of this market is. We don't want to see that. So take advantage, make some money, invest it and save it. And we'll see you here next Tuesday. Have a great week, guys. Go out and kill it.
All right. Beautiful.